Hi, hello. I do intros almost as well as I do outros, so here we are. I am super excited for that 90s show, obviously that 70s show / that 80s show sequel to be coming to Netflix. I don't know when I'm putting this video out, but I believe it's the 19th it'll be premiering, and I have been waiting for this for so long. If for some reason you have been living under a rock and you don't know, last October, Netflix ordered a spin-off of that 70s show, and it is here. It's time. The new series is set in 1995, and it focuses on Eric and Donna's daughter. Guess her name. What would Eric Foreman name his child? His daughter. Think about it.
If Luke Skywalker...
Oh, would you stop? Luke Skywalker this, Luke Skywalker that. I'm sick of hearing about that little fruit.
Luke Skywalker is not! He and Leia clearly...
Yes, indeed. Her name is Leia Foreman. Do I have a stain on my shirt? We're just going to ignore that. So Eric, Donna, and their teenage daughter Leia are visiting Red and Kitty in Point Place, Wisconsin. And from what I see, Leia's just there for one day. I believe this is when all of the 70s show stars will make their cameo. I don't believe they're in any other episodes. Aside from Red and Kitty, they're in every episode, if I'm not mistaken. So it takes place in the summer at Red and Kitty's house, in their basement more specifically. And Leia wants to stay for the summer, so I assume that she ends up staying for the summer indeed. And we meet a whole new gang of friends. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be cheesy and corny and fantastic. I'm excited to see where the 70s show alumni characters are now. I'm feeling very nostalgic, so I wanted to share my 10 favorite That 70s Show episodes. Also, it was all aboard the struggle bus when I was making that Whitney Houston video, so I wanted to do something a bit more light. This is me giving it a crack. I tend to go overboard a little bit. That's why I do deep dive. And videos like that take a very long time to research and to script and to edit. It's just a long process. And truly, as difficult as it can be and tedious as it can be, I do enjoy making long form content. But I'm also really excited to just kind of throw this little baby episode out there. So my top 10, I'm crazy. So I made a point system because I was like, how am I going to gauge what's 1 through 10? I don't know how to do that. So to do this, I created a very simple point system. I did a tally for good moments, funny moments, heartwarming moments, moments that I enjoyed, and I would erase a tally if Midge was in the scene.
What? What the fuck?
Or if there was just a scene that was kind of like, flop. That was the only way I knew how to do it. And it worked out really well. And yes, I did say, I'm not a Midge fan. I'm sorry. I cannot stand that character. Not the actress. Rest in peace to the actress. No ill will against her. Don't get it twisted. I just can't stand Midge. And while I'm being controversial, Fez? Not that funny.
The fuck you say?
Hit me with those pitchforks. I know Fez is a beloved character, but I cannot. Sometimes he's great. Like in some of these episodes, he's fantastic, but he's not always a hit. Like Red, always a hit. Michael Kelso, always a hit. Eric Foreman, always a hit. Great characters. Lori, probably my favorite character. She's freaking hilarious.
Eric is trying to hide a big purple nasty hickey. Oh, we're supposed to go to church. I have a soft spot for virgins. Well, see, I had other plans, but my business associate, had to go be with his wife. Other business associate. My bookcase isn't going to move itself. Or maybe it will. He's my boyfriend, Daddy, and we love each other, and you can't stop us from being together!
Pimp gave you the holiday off, huh?
Yeah. He replaced me with your mom.
I cannot believe that you are being such a
Bitch? Duh.
Another actress gone way too soon, rest in peace. But yeah, there are just some consistently great characters, and Fez is not one of them. I'm sorry, I know. Let me get into this top 10. Number 10, Immigrant Song. Immigrant Song is the 24th episode of the 5th season of That 70s Show. The Foremans are horrified when they realize that Red has gone fishing.
When Eric told him about his little plan to move away with Donna after graduation, your father went fishing.
What?
Red only does that when he is really, really angry. And when he finally returns, he has a final say on Eric and Donna's decision to move away. Meanwhile, Kelso, Hyde, and Fez decide to paint obscene pictures on the water tower as their senior prank. Hyde and Kelso's arguing over Jackie lands Kelso in the hospital. leaving Fez to face the police alone and Jackie to face her feelings about who she wants to be with.
It's really over between you two, huh?
Yeah, I think it is.
So why do we still have clothes on?
Oh, God, Michael, get out!
This episode shows Topher Grace and Lisa Robin Kelly at their best. The jokes aren't just handed on a platter with them, never, ever, ever. Their delivery and timing is perfect. This is a great example of Fez being funny, a great episode for him.
Well, thanks a lot for getting me at the police station, you two sons of two bitches!
Obviously, Kitty is the absolute star of this episode.
Washer and dryer, Red. They are going to have a washer and dryer. That redheaded harlot is going to be shouting out my baby's grass stains.
Funnily enough, this was the first episode that I knew would be in my top 10 because it has one of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite. No, wait, my favorite's in a later one. We'll get to my favorite scene, but this is definitely my second favorite scene, so it has to be on my top 10 list, and it's just a really fucking funny episode.
Quick impression. Who am I? Hey, Eric, why don't you tell Dad you're moving after graduation so he'll kill you and I can reclaim my rightful place as the chosen one?
Number 9 is The Crunge. The Crunge is the 10th episode of the 5th season of That 70'S Show, and the 113th episode overall. It aired on December 17th, 2002. The SAT scores have come in, and everyone does significantly better than Eric. He's particularly upset by Donna's high score and blames her for distracting him during the exam. Obviously, Eric was very prepared. He had 3 pencils ready to go.
That's one more than recommended, by the way.
And Donna and her stupid itchy thigh just had to go and ruin it. As a result, Eric enlists Red to help him buckle down and stay far away from Donna until he retakes the test. Meanwhile, Kelso discovers that he may have a bright future based on the results of his test.
You're right, I don't care. I got a 1030! I did good on the test!
And because of Hyde's score that wasn't a 0, Jackie's like, oh, okay, well, I guess you have a bright future. You can take care of me. Michael Kelso believing he's a genius is comedy gold, and Eric Foreman having the lowest score, lower than Fez, lower than Kelso, was just such a great idea. Those Bond scenes were kind of lame, I have to admit. I don't really like those scenes. I know that's a very controversial opinion. Those aren't super funny to me. I know they're supposed to be corny, I get that. But I don't even find it funny, ironically. You know? Also, Eric Foreman's misogynistic era is fantastic, strangely. That sounds horrible to say, but he's just actually super insecure, which is where most misogyny stems from. But anyway, he basically thinks he's useless as a man because he isn't smart and he can't kill spiders, which are, you know, the only traits a man should have.
I'll take a dummy over a jackass any day.
So, am I a dummy or a jackass?
Well, honey, right now you're both.
Number 8 is Van Stock. Van Stock is the 6th episode of the 2nd season of That 70'S Show, and the 31st episode overall. It aired on November 2nd, 1999. Eric, Donna, Kelso, Hyde, and Fez are all going to Van Stock, which is Wisconsin's own sort of take on Woodstock. Jackie says she doesn't want to go, so Kelso, of course, invites Laurie, his paramour.
The perfect surprise for Kelso. We'll pull the curtains, and you hide in the back with us. And at some point, you jump up front and yell, "Surprise!"
Much to Kelso's dismay, Jackie and Laurie are getting along well, and they even ditch Michael altogether for some girl chat with not just each other, but also with Fez, leaving Michael in the cold, literally. Oh, and of course, how could I forget? This is also the episode where Red becomes addicted to soaps. He was laid off of his job, so he has the day to himself, and Midge comes over and gets him completely hooked.
Sakes. You're a nurse and you can't love a guy in a coma?
The Jackie surprise, another amazing scene, probably a top scene for me as well. And I love seeing just how similar Laurie and Jackie really are. Like in an alternate universe, they could be best friends, probably better friends than Donna and Jackie, but you know, whatever. Red being obsessed with soap operas, amazing. And also, at the end of this episode, the narrator talks about Tina, Donna's long-lost sister. Justice for Tina. Where did she go? What happened to her?
Oh no, some of your creepy friends are using Dad's stereo.
You guys, no one's allowed in the house.
Hello, pretty lady.
Hi. She's not a pretty lady. She's my sister, and she's 14.
You know, in my country,
It's illegal here.
Number 7, The Forgotten Son. The Forgotten Son is the 9th episode of the 4th season of That 70's Show, and 85th episode overall. It aired on November 21st, 2001. Red has to produce a new PriceSmart instructional film, and his choice of actor for the part of Stockboy leaves Eric stunned because he picks Michael Kelso, and let me just say, I had an observation. Even when Eric thinks that it's Red picking him to play Stockboy, he begins to turn his dad down.
Oh, look, Dad, I appreciate the thought.
I'm gonna use this idiot.
So, what's that about? Obviously, he just wanted to be the number one person in mind when he turned his dad down. But no, Red went for the photogenic, charismatic Michael Kelso. Also in this episode, Kitty and Donna become friends and are spending a lot of time together, which also makes Eric feel very left out, hence the title of this episode.
What am I supposed to do about it?
Well, you better do something. You know what girls talk about when they get together.
Sugar and spice and everything nice?
That's what we're made of, you dumbass.
Spice and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl.
Two people that are not feeling left out are Hyde and Fez, because Leo won $1 bazillion from his dead uncle and takes them on a very fancy shopping spree. Michael Kelso imitating John Travolta for Red Foreman.
Yeah, I stocked this shelf. But someday, I'm gonna dance across this whole city. That's dead on.
I'm leaving Brooklyn, Mr. Fulminelli. And when I get to Manhattan, I'm gonna be a star.
Whoever thought of that is a genius. I love Red and Kelso together. I think they're probably the funniest two when together. I could watch an entire season of a Mr. Formanelli, Michael Kelso storyline. That sounds amazing. Also, something really small but cool is that Ashton Kutcher's twin brother, I believe it's his twin brother, was an extra in this episode for about a half a second. Number 6, Eric's Panties. Eric's Panties is the 6th episode of the 3rd season of That 70's Show, and the 57th episode overall, and it aired on November 21st, 2000. Donna finds a pair of panties in the Vista Cruiser.
Donna, you should not leave your panties in your boyfriend's car. I didn't.
And immediately thinks that Eric is cheating on her with his new lab partner, who seems to have quite the crush on Eric. She's not very coy about it. And everyone is in full undies Sherlock Holmes mode. And once they find out who they really belong to, they are in complete shock. Also in this episode, Red's doctor's appointment shows that he has high blood pressure. So Kitty, being the loving, concerned wife that she is, puts him on a strict diet, which he finds completely inedible.
I see the lights. What's that, Lord? It's okay to eat meat and beer and cheese? Okay, I'll tell her.
What's that, Lord? Dry toast and oatmeal will do.
And speaking of food, how could I forget? Kelso gets himself a brand new nickname in this episode.
So Kelso slips the potatoes, slides into a Poland's leg spread, totally racks himself. And everybody starts throwing their carrots and their cheese at him, chanting, "Tater nuts! Tater nuts!"
This is the episode with my all-time favorite That 70's Show scene.
Donna, look, you have to believe me. I have no idea whose panties those are.
Donna, those panties are mine.
You are a god! A god, I say!
This scene lives in my head rent-free. Tater nuts, panties and cars, and everyone thinking that Eric did it with Midge. Classic. Also, the girl Shelly in that episode, I knew she looked familiar. She is from one of my favorite movies of all time, Camp Nowhere. Have you seen Camp Nowhere? I wanted to live at Camp Nowhere. I love that movie, and when I rewatched the series, and I was like, wait, I know that girl, I immediately put Camp Nowhere on my watch list. It's on Disney Plus if you don't already know. Number 5, The Pill. The Pill is the 17th episode of season 1 of That 70's Show, and of course that makes it the 17th episode overall. It aired on February 21st, 1999.
Door, knock!
Sorry, I didn't know you'd be doing anything so embarrassing.
Since no one else is around, Jackie confides in Eric that she thinks she might be pregnant. Of course, Eric, with his loose lips, passes the news to Donna, who tries to get Jackie to tell Kelso. But again, Mr. Loose Lips beat her to it. The incident inspires Donna to go on birth control pills. Her decision inadvertently causes Eric a lot of grief when Bob and the Formans find out, which is just absolutely mortifying. This is hands down one of the classic That 70's Show episodes, and I know I will not have some of the other classic That 70's Show episodes in my top 10. While I can appreciate those episodes, I'm not going to spoil what those episodes are yet because I don't want to give it away. They're not all like super duper funny throughout. They have a funny theme and like one scene that sticks out, but they're not just like all the way through great. This episode is not one of those episodes. This is just fantastic from start to finish. During the pharmacy scene, my favorite part isn't even like Bob and Eric. It's Lori's face when she hears the name of the drug in the bag and she just immediately knows.
Ciati, Donna, Orthonovum.
Ortho what?
Orthonovum.
I love Lori so much. I feel like she is an S-tier character who gets no recognition whatsoever. Meanwhile, everyone simps for Fez.
No. Don't like that.
Another little fun tidbit about this episode, the look on Topher Grace's face, or Eric's face, when Red hoses him down, that's genuine because he did not see that coming, which makes that scene a million times funnier.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath, long about a Saturday night. Yeah. Rub-a-dub, just relaxing in the tub.
Number 4, A New Hope. A New Hope is the 20th episode of the first season of That 70's Show. Of course, that makes it the 20th episode overall, and it aired on March 14th, 1999. The guys go to see Star Wars and are all completely blown away by it. It's funny, I actually read that they initially wanted Kelso to be the one who was obsessed with Star Wars, but they felt like that was a bit too nerdy for him, so of course they gave that obsession to the ultimate nerd, Eric Foreman. Red asks Eric to hang out with his boss's son now that he's started working at the plant full time again. He's in such a great mood now that he has his job back, so Eric wants to keep him happy. The boss's son is named David, and he was an awkward kid the last time Eric saw him. But he had his post-pubescent glow up and is now very into reading Donna's stories, which Eric is not a fan of. He feels like he knows exactly what that really means. Also in this episode, Lori, being Lori, begins hitting on Kelso because she's bored out of her mind and there's no one else in that rinky-dink town that's easy access to her that she hasn't already experienced. And I think it's just more fun for her. What better way to get back at your brother than to sleep with one of his best friends, right? Yes, back-to-back classics. Like I said, they won't all be on this list, but some of the classics will. Star Horse. Do I need to say anything else? This episode is just perfect. I don't know what else to say. I do enjoy Star Wars, and I appreciated the mashup between the two. Into the top 3 now. Number 3, Eric's Buddy. Eric's Buddy is the 11th episode of the first season, again making it the 11th episode overall, and it aired on December 6, 1998. Eric has a new friend, and Steven cannot stand it. He doesn't like that his new pal Buddy is rich and is also annoyed that Eric doesn't give him a ride home anymore. And that is because Eric's new pal has a Trans Am and he lets Eric play with it. Michael Kelso, on the other hand, is upset as well, but he seems more like a worried spouse, a jealous spouse, because Eric seems to be really enjoying his friendship with Buddy. They're spending a lot of time together, they're having fun. Going to see movies, Buddy's kind and he's funny. And because of all this, Eric begins confiding in Buddy about his relationship concerns with Donna. And within that conversation, Buddy heard maybe that Eric was confused and misread it and makes a move on Eric. Buddy is gay, and he also thinks that Eric's gay. Eric sort of freaks out and lets him know that he is not. In parental land, Red is working at Bargain Bob's and is having a hard time with being a salesman. But after some help from Kitty and Bob, Red makes his first sale, and it's one of the cutest scenes in the entire show. I mean, this is on everyone's list, right? At least in your top 5. I read that Buddy was actually going to be a consistent character. He was going to be a new friend in the basement. But I guess everyone was concerned that the audience wouldn't like that. I think they were wrong. And this is often cited as the first gay kiss on television. That is wrong. Are we forgetting Dawson's Creek? It's actually fine if you've forgotten all of Dawson's Creek. I just wanted to throw that bit of trivia out there.
I don't want to wait for my lunch to get colder. Why can't I eat it now? I don't want to wait for the new Toyota. I want the car that's got a lot of gas.
Number 2, Over the Hills and Far Away. Over the Hills and Far Away is the 6th episode of the 5th season of That 70's Show, and the 109th episode overall. It aired on November 19th, 2002. The kids prepare to make a weekend college visit to the University of Wisconsin. There's only one snag in the plan. Donna tells Eric that Bob will not let her go to UW. Instead, he wants her to visit Marquette, a small Catholic college a ways away from home because it sounds fancier. So Donna and Jackie visit Marquette and the boys go to UW. And Jackie, while at Marquette, spends her time worrying about Hyde, wondering who he's sneaking around with, if he's sneaking around at all. The guys going to UW are joined by Kitty, who is extremely irritable.
I need to use the bathroom.
Hey, can you turn up the radio?
First and goal.
How much further?
Touchdown!
Would you all just shut up?
And Red, who is on edge because of his irritable wife. It's all just a recipe for comedic disaster.
It's okay.
Wow, Mom certainly cheered up.
Don't be fooled. She's a ticking time bomb.
I don't know if this has ever been considered a classic by anyone else but me, but this is such an underappreciated episode. Menopausal Kitty is the best Kitty.
Stopped producing. That's it. What is wrong with you? Were you dropped on your head?
Yes, I was. And up until now, everyone had the good grace not to mention it.
Also, what happened to Shotzi? Shots, that little, the dog, the wiener dog, whatever happened to him? I feel like he really could have helped her through this change of life.
Shotzi?
So I just wanted to clarify that Shotzi is okay. I completely forgot about this scene. Shotzi is alive and well after that. I just think that the stardom got to him, and that was the last episode he appeared in.
The ovary soap.
I'm sorry. I washed my face with your ovaries.
Red referring to his wife as a commie. The were you dropped on your head? Yes, I was. See, I just feel like there's so many parts of this episode that should make it a classic, but I don't know if anyone else thinks of it that way. That one scene alone where it's Kitty and Red and Fez and Michael and Hyde and Eric all in the same hotel room trying to go to bed. Again, one of the greatest scenes in the entire series. And now we have reached number 1, and I feel like you should know what this is. What is the one episode missing that needs to be on every list? Number 1 is Eric's Hot Cousin. Eric's Hot Cousin is the 14th episode of the 4th season of That 70's Show, and the 90th episode overall. It aired on January 22nd, 2002. Eric's cousin Penny, whom he used to tease unmercifully when they were younger, comes to Point Place for a visit. And she's grown a bit, another one who's gone through their post-pubescent glow-up. All of the guys notice this, of course, and are infatuated with her, much to Donna and Jackie's dismay, so they try to be hotter than Penny. I think I'm funny. But the girls have disastrous results. And Miss Kitty in this episode is feeling like she's not needed by anyone anymore, and she wants to get a pet. She's a nurturer. She feels like she needs to nurture something.
Pets are called pets because you pet them. How do I pet this thing?
Well, you just reach in and corner it and give it a rub.
You know what's crazy? When I was rewatching the series, I tend to fall asleep. I like to sleep a lot, but I must have fallen asleep for this episode. It wasn't even in my top 10 list. I was like not even remembering it. And then one day it just came to me. And I couldn't believe I forgot this episode. This is the greatest That 70's Show episode.
Eric, do I have to tell you to stop staring at your cousin? Stop staring at your cousin.
The fact that this girl concocted this plan because she was salty about being trapped in a revolving door.
You, a mean, vindictive person.
Like someone who would trap someone in a revolving door?
Yes! Oh!
That is quite the escalation. But yeah, what more even needs to be said about this episode? I feel like from start to finish, it was just amazing. And I think my favorite part about this episode is that they really knew they had a fantastic idea and they just honed in on that storyline. There really isn't any other crazy storyline happening. It's just full on Eric wants to watch movies in the basement in the dark with his cousin.
Peterson's Auto Shop.
What?
Peterson's Auto Shop. That's what my t-shirt says. I noticed you're trying to read it.
Yes. Yes, I was.
I'm sorry, I don't even have a lot to say about it. I feel like I'm redundant. I'm like, it's great, it's amazing, it's great, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's comedic gold. Also, Eric's cousin was featured in the spinoff. I don't know if it was just the actress or if the entire character was featured in that 80s show. I have never seen it and I kind of want to watch it now. I heard it was so bad and I'm here for it. I want to scour the internet and find it so I can have the full experience. That 70s show, that 80s show, and now that 90s show.
Update. I watched the pilot and holy shit, this might be the worst show I've ever seen. I was not expecting it to be that bad. No, Penny is not the same character. She's a totally new character. There seems to be no actual connection to that 70s show, or maybe there is and I just didn't see it. It got canceled after 12 episodes, but the pilot's on YouTube if you want to give it a watch.
But yeah, these are my top 10 favorite That 70's Show episodes. Feel free to roast me for forgetting one. I know the keg and the finale and the pilot are loved episodes. I just like these episodes a little bit more. So yeah, I know those are honorable mentions. We'll call them that. Give That 70's Show a complete rewatch. It's on Peacock. And of course, watch That 90s Show on Netflix. I think it'll be great. I hope it'll be great. I'm hoping that if it does well, they'll just keep adding seasons and I would love to see more of the characters come back and storylines get expanded. I think that would be great. And lots of Easter eggs. I want lots of Easter eggs. As I alluded to in the beginning, I'm not great at intros and I'm really not great with outros, so outro.